Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. So, what are we doing? This is my first run at doing predictions. So, I had asked a little while ago some of you to submit some questions that you wanted me to read on, and I got a lovely assortment of questions. And so I will be, I'm recording this and I will be uploading this on December 27th. So hopefully this is all going to go well. This is the third attempt at trying to record this. And the reason that I had to re-record is because I'm not exactly sure how to edit the videos. So there you go. All right, now you know a secret. So I am using the Grand or the Gilded Tarot Deluxe. And yeah, entertainment purposes only. And let me just make sure I put my little banner up so that YouTube is happy. Alrighty. So one of the first questions that I received was, was from Cheryl McNutt. And Cheryl wanted to know if DeJoy will ever be ousted or will he just leave on his own? And she's wondering if it will happen in 2024. So let's take a look at that. Now, if you remember DeJoy, I think he's the Postmaster General, or something to do with the post office. Anyway, he has been very, very quiet over the last little while. You don't hear a whole lot from him. You certainly heard a lot in, I think in 2020 and even before, but not a whole lot since then. He's been playing it very, very, very down low. So let's see. Will DeJoy ever be ousted or will he leave on his own? And he certainly has a yucky kind of energetic feel to him. So there you go. All righty, let's take a look. We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the King of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, this guy sure loves his money. Sure puts a lot of value on it. Ooh, we'll get the Tower. And we end with the Nine of Wands. All right. So will he be ousted or will he leave in 2024? Yes, I do believe that he is going to have a Tower moment, and I think that he's going to be approached and asked to announce his early retirement so he can spend more time with his family and devote his time to other projects. There you go. All right. So with the Six of Pentacles, that's sort of it's he was able to weigh in and decide kind of who was going to get what, right? In the traditional tarot, he is sort of the guy that has all the coins, and there's two people that are kind of kneeling in front of him, and he's deciding who gets what. So that was him in terms of deciding how he was going to handle things, where he was going to put his energies when it came to the post office. He really, to him, this was all about making money. He found himself sort of in a position where not only was he able to decide how things in the post office were going to work, but who was going to get what job and that sort of thing. So um, with the King of Pentacles, yeah, like I said, he's a guy that really, really likes his money. So he may be given an offer to kind of to leave. Now, the Nine of Wands, that's like the wounded warrior, and I think this is kind of where they approach him and they say, "Listen, you've taken a lot of heat, you've taken a lot of flack, and you kind of hung in there and you did the best that you could, but maybe it's time for you to concentrate on other things." So, will the Joy be leaving office in 2024? I think the answer is yes, he will. He can see the writing on the wall. He knows that Trump's days are limited. So I think he's going to accept whatever offer they give him, because yeah, he's all about the coin. He's all about the money. So there you go. I think that is exactly what's going to happen. All right. So the next question that I had, let me put the cards back in, was from Artist 179. And Artist wanted to know, do you see in 2025 if the Dems will keep the White House, the Senate, and get back the House? So yeah, 2025 is, it would, Biden would be reelected in 2024, but it isn't until 2025 that they, everything kind of comes to fruition and everyone is sworn in. So I think that's why she's asking about 2025. Oh, so tell me about the end of 24, beginning of 25. Will the Democrats secure the White House, the Senate, and the House? Okay. This is a yes card. This is kind of, you can't get any better than this. The Sun. Yes. Yes, I do believe that that they will. They will. The White House, the Senate, the House. We can get things done. We have got the Seven of Cups, which is kind of there's a lot of expectation, and this is also a card of illusion, delusion. Okay, we get the Two of Cups, agreements. Okay, I think I know what that is. Yeah, illusion, delusion. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of GOP members who are going to be raising all kinds of things about, no, this was stolen. We need a recount. We need this. It's, putting forth the illusion that that somehow the election of a lot of Democrats is kind of at fault. We get the Four of Swords, and we end with the Ten of Wands. Okay, so yes, I think they absolutely will take all three. There is going to be a lot of discussion, a lot of questioning by the GOP, who are just going to try to raise a lot of smoke and whatnot. When it finally comes down to it, with the Two of Cups, the agreement with the nation is made. Everyone is satisfied that, well, let me rephrase that. Anyone who is able to have some discernment and clear thinking is going to realize that yes, this was a clear victory for the Democrats, and unfortunately, the GOP are going to realize that this is where they're going to get very, very silent, and they're just kind of going to go away lick the runes, try to find another way to handle things, because this is a huge burden. The loss is a huge burden on them, because not only will some seats that they fully expected to lose be lost, but they're going to lose some key seats as well, and that is going to really put a damper on them going forward. So there you go. And hope you guys have a great Christmas, and hope that Santa or whoever you expect is going to drop by your house, and everything that you receive is going to be what you had hoped to receive. And remember, this season, the holiday season, isn't so much about the value of the things that you receive, but it's about sharing of time, sharing of space, sharing of having company, the enjoyment of everything, the making memories, and so on. Those are the things that really value, not so much the cost of anything. And sometimes the best things that you can receive are the things that are free, right? The gift of time is exceptional. Okay. All right. So Shannon Hutchinson wanted to know what will be the status of student loans. We'll take a look. The status of student loans. What is the status of student loans in 2024? Okay. World. Got the star. We have got the High Priestess. This is positive. High Priestess. We have got the Ace of Swords. And we have got the Two of Wands. I think this is a positive answer in that I have 3 major arcana to start this. So the world is the student loan crisis is something that in one way or another has affected a good portion of the U.S. population. Whether you are the one that has the outstanding loans, or you're married to someone who has outstanding loans, and so on, this is very much this is very much something that affects the whole family, because let's face it, any payments that you're making on student loans, those funds are not available to the family. So it certainly does have an effect on everyone. The star is, people are looking for a way out. They're looking for ways to deal with it, to kind of handle the situation. I think most people, when they get into a student loan, have every intention of paying it back. And it makes sense to pay it back. It's just, you took out a $5,000 loan 15 years ago, and all of a sudden now you turn around and you owe $105,000. I think, anytime that loans are involved, there is an anticipation that there's going to be interest charged. It's just, this is almost like usury. So that is kind of what I'm getting from that star, is that there's there's a good deal of emotion that comes with it, in terms of people wanting to do the right thing and being put in a position where sometimes that is difficult. The High Priestess, she's the keeper of secrets. She knows where things are. She knows where the bodies are buried. She knows kind of what's going on. Now the thing is, if you ask her, she will give you an answer. She's not going to volunteer the information, but she will certainly answer any questions that you pose to her. So, this is the secrets. I think are those things that the kind of hidden fees that were written into the contracts, the interest on interest on interest that was going on. That these are all things that are kind of they're hidden from you. And yet the people who are sort of in control of the contract, they know where those things are. So, if you ask them specifically and outright, I think that they would probably answer. They're just not going to volunteer the information. So in comes the Ace of Swords. That's the truth. That's it's justice in a way as well, in terms of not only speaking the truth, but doing the honest thing, doing the moral thing. And I'm drawn to the dove that is in here, and that kind of like the dove of peace. It's time to look at this. It's time to admit that what has happened is unfair, and it needs to be righted. It needs to be put right, for lack of a better word. And the Two of Wands is this is kind of putting out the intention, right? That there were wrongs that were committed, and some people consciously put that out there, and it's time to kind of review that, to say no, maybe we need to look at other ways to do things. So this is a lot of people with the truth, and sort of with the world watching, I guess, are going to step up and say, okay, it's time to do the right thing. It's time to put that intention out there. So what will happen with the status of student loans? I think that they are, there's going to be a lot more work done on them. There's going to be a lot more examination. And just let me pull a couple more cards, because this kind of answers what happened, but what will it be going forward? The Two of Pentacles. Decisions are in the process of being made as to how they will proceed with that. The Fool, it's I think this is a good card in terms of the government's ability to step in and say, okay, we're going to try something new. We're going to go down a new path. And okay, and the Queen of Cups. I think this is going to bring a lot more stability to a lot of people. So, just look for it to the fall. Obviously, I don't know why, but I'm getting that the fall is going to be sort of an important time for those student loans. And I think that's probably when a lot of the announcements will come down as to the loans that are being forgiven, the reason that they're being forgiven. And even those people who maybe they don't sort of qualify for full relief, but they will certainly be able to have their cases examined for a review of the interest that has been possibly overcharged, and their reviews will result in those people who do have outstanding loans, who are still paying on them, their debt may be significantly reduced. So that's what I'm seeing for student loans. Okay. And Lisa M. wanted to know, will gas prices come down? Now, I can tell you that here in Canada, especially Alberta, our gas prices have come down by anywhere from 25 to 30 cents a liter, which is quite a bit. So, for us, it's a good thing. As will they come down in the US? I think this is going to depend on a couple things. If it was within Joe Biden's administration, if they had the ability to lower gas prices, I think that they would. The problem is that the other players that are in the game, and particularly those that are kind of controlling the narrative from outside the country, they have a stake in this, right? So they certainly want to be able to take advantage of the higher prices. So, you can't lay all this at Biden's feet and say, well, gas prices are high because of him, because they actually have come down quite a bit. So, but will they come down? Okay, will gas prices come down in the US? Judgment. Okay. The Three of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, the Eight of Wands. And the Nine of Cups. I think that this, yes, they will. And when they do come down, it'll be fairly quick. And I think some of this might actually be, the impetus for this might be a lot of business people who are they are seeing that fuel costs are impacting their bottom line. And so they are going to want to get together and work with other sort of like-minded people to see what they can do about bringing the gas prices down. I think that they're also going to be a little more open to different kinds of fuel sources. And this is them kind of that. This is the Nine of Cups is the happy merchant, right? It's the happy businessman. So they're going to be quite happy with things that are going to come out. The Knight of Pentacles, he's kind of a slow moving knight. He takes his time. So, there may not be any indication that this is going to happen fairly quickly in the beginning of 2024. But when it does start to happen, it will happen quickly. Okay. So, and it's, a lot of people have business people as well as, the regular Joes. They are sort of judging a lot of the oil companies and the people involved with the oil and the crude and everything else, where gas prices generally rise at the whisper of something going wrong, and then when it doesn't come to fruition, they don't generally say, oh, well, we increased it based on this, but it's come down, so now we're going to lower it. No, they just keep charging the higher prices because it means more money in their pocket. And it means better, payouts for the shareholders and so on. So I think a lot of people are looking at that and they are making judgments on it. And they're saying, look, this is not fair. It really isn't fair. So, yes, I do think that gas prices will come down. And it's possible too, they may not come down as much as you might want them to, but certainly any decrease is better than no decrease. So there you go. All right. Now, Joe, or J-O, has kind of a lengthy question that has a lot of sub-questions in it. So I think maybe if I tackle this kind of one at a time, we might be able to get through this. Okay. So the question was, will the labor organizing efforts of Sean Fain's UAW, that's the United Auto Workers, as well as other unions, affect a reversal of the exclusively and selectively trickle-down economics that effectively exclude many who need it most, and start its replacement with some saturated wicking, maybe even flooding up of economics? And will it produce any noticeable effect and change in our country's working class daily economic struggles? And if so, will that effect start to spread worldwide? So a lot of questions. So let's look at the first one. Will the organizing efforts of Sean Fain's United Auto Workers, as well as other unions, affect a reversal of the exclusively and selectively trickle-down economics that ineffectively excluded many who need it most? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at that. Will the unions be able to have an impact on trickle-down economics? Which I think everybody knows trickle-down economics were and are a huge failure because they don't work. It sounds nice on paper, that if I increase your salary by $1,000 a month, then that means you're going to have more money to travel, to do things, so that you're kind of supporting other sectors of the community. Well, that doesn't normally happen, and it doesn't happen to the way that kind of the architects of this trickle down economics under, what's his name? Oh, the actor Ronald Reagan. There you go. Yeah, this is something that he did for his GOP friends, and it didn't work. And I think we can all see it. So, will the efforts of the unions have an effect? Alrighty. Well, the Three of Pentacles again. This is kind of the plan, the putting things in motion, the working and whatnot. The Eight of Pentacles, reviewing what you've done, seeing where your efforts have gone, working on your trade. Okay. The Ace of Pentacles, again, the money. 3 pentacles in a row. We have the Seven of Wands, kind of people feeling like okay, just sorry, lost my train of thought there for a sec. And the Ace of Swords. Okay. I think that this it is going to have some effect, and here's the reason why. A lot of people have come to terms with the fact that, like I said, trickle down economics doesn't work, and that if you want people at the the low rung on the ladder, if you want them to be able to participate in what's going on with the rest of the world, you have to make sure that the funds get to them. And maybe you need to make sure that the funds get to them directly instead of giving it to someone else and just assuming that because you gave it to someone else that they're going to share it. Because that is not the case. There's, ideally, And I think when they first came up with the plan, that was part of the reasoning was that, well, we'll give it to this guy, and then he's going to give it to someone else, and then they're just going to keep passing it until everybody gets a piece of the pie. And that's not what happened. The people on top took a look at it and said, "Oh boy, my income just went up a lot." Yeah, they didn't share the wealth. They kind of hoarded the wealth and came up with all kinds of reasons why you couldn't have, why they couldn't kind of share this with the people below, right? Well, the truth about who and what has been done, it's been discussed many, many times, and more people are seeing that in order to affect something, you need to be able to deal directly with the group that is going to be most affected by it. So, will the unions kind of have a hand in this? Yes, I think they will. I think there is strength in unions and in like-minded people working together, as opposed to kind of everyone working, trying to accomplish the same thing, but doing it on their own. You get a lot more done when there's a group of people working, versus kind of one person. It's funny, I just turned this around and I've got the Fool on the bottom. So this is kind of taking a leap of faith and saying there are other ways to do things, and we've done it the old way, it hasn't worked, so we need to look at something new. So to answer the first part of the question, will it have a reversal? Yes, I think it will. And I think that many are realizing that, those who have been most affected by it are the ones who make the companies successful as a result of it, if that makes any sense, right? It's you, yeah. If it wasn't for the workers, you wouldn't need managers, you wouldn't need bosses, you wouldn't, how do things get from point A to point B? Yeah, you need to take care of your workers. You need to make sure that the little guy is happy. Okay, and will it start, she says, with the replacement of some saturated wicking, or maybe flooding up in economics? And start replacement. And will it produce any noticeable effects and change in our country's working class daily economic struggles? Okay, so with the unions being able to do what they do, will it produce any noticeable effects and changes in the country's working class daily economic struggles? Okay. Let's see. Alrighty. Ace of Pentacles. Again, this is money. This is health. This is the working class's daily economic struggles. Absolutely. We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Swords. Oh, we have the Devil. And last but not least, we have the Moon. Okay. Is it going to have an effect? Yes, it will. It will. It may, the effect may not be as quick as some people would like. And there is certainly a lot of worry from the from the working class in terms of, it's more and more expensive to get to work. Because really, if you think about it, it does cost money to have a job, right? You need money for transportation. You need money for, for healthcare. You need money for daycare. There are things that come out of your paycheck that support other industry, that you don't always benefit directly, which I know it. I know what I'm trying to say in my head, but I'm having a hard time verbalizing it. So I think that people are realizing that they need to kind of put a stop to the worry. They need to get rid of the old and come in with the new, right? It's time to unchain yourself from the devil, from that the feeling that there is, if a union is involved, that somehow this is wrong. This isn't something that you should do. There's a lot of people who will go into places, even if there's a whisper of a union, and they will do whatever they can to ensure that no union takes hold in their office or in their business. I think that a lot of that is going to end, where people are going to stand up collectively and they're going to say, no, I'm not going to allow someone else to tell me how I'm going to do things. And that, I participate in this economy by being an employee. I should have some say sort of in what happens to me. The moon is that this is an emotional decision for a good lot of people who have to make uncomfortable decisions almost on a daily basis, right? Your child is sick. You really should be staying home with a sick child, but if you don't show up for work, you don't get paid. If you don't get paid, that reduces the income, and you need that income in order to pay for the daycare that you would normally use, yada, yada, yada. It goes on and on and on. So, for a lot of people, this is an emotional issue, because they feel like they're not being appreciated. So, sometimes the union can give you a little more stability, right? So, I think in that way, it will produce some noticeable effects. Okay, and will this start to spread across the world? Let's find out. Okay. Will these changes be seen as a positive thing around the world, and will sort of this collective unionization, bargaining, will it kind of spread worldwide? So will this encourage people in other countries to do? Okay, what I'm getting immediately is that there are a lot of countries in the world that do take care of their workers. They go out of their way to make sure that the workers are looked after and happy. So for those people, the idea of a union can almost be seen as interference, in that, things are going well. We have this under control. We don't need yet another partner at the table to tell us how to do things. We've been doing just fine. And, we're quite successful at it, and our people are quite happy. The other countries where there isn't a whole lot of appreciation of the working force, they are going to be concerned, because, yes, this is going to, some of these changes are going to signal to other workers around the world that there is that power in the union. There is that power in the collective bargaining, and that is going to be that is going to appeal to them. So the answer, kind of in a general way, is will it spread around the world? Yes and no. Okay. Will this have a positive effect on those workers that need it the most? How about that? That way we cover the ones who need it. Let's see what happens. All right. Okay. The Seven of Swords. Interesting. We have got the Seven of Pentacles, the Tower, the King of Cups, and the Three of Cups. Okay. Will this have an effect on those people around the world who do need it the most? Will it have an effect? It will. It will be sort of a hard fought battle for them to get there. This is the Seven of Swords. This is the thief in the cap, right? This is kind of taking advantage of a particular situation. While everybody else is sleeping, this guy comes in and steals their swords. So this I kind of see as those corporations who are taking advantage of the employees, who are kind of putting roadblocks in their way to succeed, because if they succeed, they might want to do something on their own, which means you lose that employee. And you need to have that employee there because you have conditioned them to be to believe that what they have received, what they are receiving, and what their future looks like is that where they are is that this is the best it's ever going to be for you. So, they have gone out of their way to kind of train those people, and new people coming on board come in with new ideas, and a lot of corporations don't want that. They like things just the way they are. So the Seven of Pentacles is kind of looking at the fruits of your labor, right? And so a lot of the employees, a lot of the workers around the world are going to be looking at that, and they're going to say, my boss drives a really fancy car and he lives in a very nice house, and I kind of struggle from day to day just to get to work. And sometimes my kids might need to go to bed hungry because I had to make a choice whether or not I'm going to feed them or keep a roof over their head. So this is where they're going to start to see that things need to change. This is where there's more organization. This is where there's more open talk of unions and collective bargaining and so on. Once that starts to happen, I think it is kind of going to be the push forward that that some of these corporations are going to need, in terms of, well, you can start to lose money in your bottom line, or you could sit down and treat these people like they are human beings, because they are human beings, and they need to be able to be happy in their working life. So the King of Cups is, there's a good deal of emotion. There's a lot of strategy going into that, going forward. And the Three of Cups is ultimately, the people are celebrating. They are able to come sort of to some agreement, so that everyone gives up a little something, so that everyone else has a little more. So I think that is kind of the long-winded answer to that. But yeah, whoops, sorry about that. I thought that I turned that down. Apparently I didn't. Let me do that real quick, because I don't want this to be an interruption. Bear with me. And all righty, there we go. Shouldn't happen again. My apologies. All right. So Pat Lee would like to know, with price gouging, anti-Semitism, any miracles to come? Okay. Do we have any miracles that we can look forward to in 2024? It feels like it's, there are going to be little bumps in the road. There are going to be, sometimes when you need to slow down before you can speed up again. By this time next year, I think we'll be able to look back and say, okay, it was a rough start, but it worked. It worked. Look where we ended up. So, are there any miracles to come for the US? Any good things, any things that can be celebrated? Oh, okay. The tower again. This is good. The sun. All right. The Ace of Swords. Temperance. I'm liking these cards. And the Queen of Swords. Okay. Will there be miracles? Yes. And we start off with the tower. This is where things that are no longer working, things that they need to fall apart almost spectacularly in order for them to be rebuilt in a new light, in a new way. And I think what this is telling me is, I think it's referring back to the U.S. politics. Okay, so there's going to be tower moments for several people. I think that the election is going to it's going to be a surprise to a few folks who thought that they were relatively safe and untouchable. And I think that what they have done in the past is going to be very much illuminated, sort of throughout the years, so that they're whatever they are complicit in is going to be highlighted. And so a lot of people are going to be kind of looking at the bottom, looking at the truth and saying, yeah, I know what you told me. I need to see the receipts. I need you to back it up. What else is going on? People are starting to pay attention, and they're realizing, oddly enough, I think on both sides of the aisle, that the truth is somewhere in the middle. Okay, the GOP has done a very, very good job of trying to convince people that anything and everything that the Democrats touch is just somehow horrible, awful. That's not the case. There are people on both sides that are kind of in the middle, and they're looking around and they're saying, you know what? Okay, I'm not dealing with the crazy anymore. Like, we have to work on this together, right? It's very much like, when you have a family problem, you don't exclude the family member. You bring the family around and you all try to do your bit to help out. And this is kind of exactly what is happening here, is people are coming around. They're saying, no, the road forward is somewhere down the middle. Okay. And we have to find those people that we can work with to do that. To kind of be in the middle. And the Queen of Swords, she is about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I don't want to hear stories. I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't care about your platitudes and everything else. I want to get to the bottom of what is going on. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So, yes, absolutely. There will be some miracles. There are going to be things that people are going to be very excited about. And just, yeah, when you hear all that negativity coming at you through the television or whatever, just take a deep breath and ask yourself, who is sharing this news with me? And why are they motivated to share it with me? What's in it for them? And I was born with a brain, and I know how to use my brain. So I'm going to take this information in, and I'm going to make up my own mind. Okay. So yeah, that's what we have. That's what we have going on. Um, okay. Let me see. I have to watch my time because I am on a little bit of a time crunch in terms of how long my video can be in order to upload it so that YouTube is happy. And all right. So Anna Hutchinson would like to know how many Congress people and senators will be charged in the January 6th insurrection. Good question. Good question. My initial perception, what I got was 27. Let's take a look at the cards and see if they back me up. Okay. How many Congress people? There's going to be more Congress people than senators. But I'm okay. I'm thinking 20 Congress people and 7 senators. So we'll see. This time next year, when we kind of do a review, we'll find out if this was a hit or a bust. Okay. So how many Congress people and senators will be charged in the January 6th insurrection? Okay. The Two of Swords. We have the World. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups. Oops. All right, and the Three of Cups. I think that, yeah, decisions are being made right now as to who is going to be kind of called next to answer for what they have done. And this is very much these people made decisions for themselves on what to do. If they picked a side, and unfortunately they picked the wrong side. They went, rather than looking at the big picture and thinking in terms of, what does this mean for the country and whatnot, they made a decision about what this means for me. And that's not good. The attention of the world is on what is going on in the U.S., because the U.S. has always been held up as kind of the beacon of democracy, the place where anyone can become president, where all roads lead to the U.S., and where the streets are paved with gold and all that good stuff. So this is for the people that are kind of looking at making judgments about some of the people who were involved in the insurrection. There is a celebration. They are seeing themselves as that this was a hard-won fight, and they have done a really, really good job. The Queen of Cups is there. Clearly, there is a lot of emotion. There's a lot of things emotionally that are going to have to be dealt with, because there's, people have suffered over the last number of years with all the stuff that has been in the news, and the stories that you're hearing and what's going on. Very, very much. It is like PTSD. Ultimately, there's a celebration. The people who were who made a conscious decision to be on the wrong side of history are going to be held accountable. They are going to they're going to have to pay the consequences of their actions. And I will point out that with the Six of Wands, Libby from Meister's Tarot sees this, the Six of Wands, as the look at me card. So yeah, and I can see that in this context is that a lot of people did, they stood up and they counted themselves in with Trump. And it's kind of a little hard to go back and say, well, that wasn't me. So they have, by being the look at me kind of person, they have brought criticism on themselves, and rightly so. All righty. And Deep Sigh wanted to know about the status of the war in the Ukraine in 2024. All right. So I only have about 3 minutes left. So I'll talk fast, you listen fast. Okay. The war in Ukraine. There. What do we know about the war in Ukraine? What can you tell us? Okay, Queen of Cups. Yes, a lot of emotion. We have the Two of Cups. That's an agreement. The Six of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles. Okay, I think I see where this is going. And the King of Swords. Okay, whoops. Sorry. I think that what is going to happen is there's a lot of countries who have, kind of given lukewarm support to Ukraine are going to come on board, and they're going to be a lot more willing to part with the money in order to help Ukraine. And the reason that I say that is with the Six of Pentacles, kind of deciding who gets what, and the King of Swords, a lot of truth about why Russia did what they did has come out, and more will come out. So, this is the agreements that these countries are going to make sort of collectively towards Ukraine, and even towards each other, right? They're going to be asking, when they get together is, okay, well, right now, Putin is saber rattling against Finland. And who's next? Who's next? That's going to be sort of the topic of discussion. So I think that people are realizing that support for the Ukraine isn't just support for the Ukraine. It is sort of support for the rest of Europe. And a lot of those little countries are kind of looking around and saying, but for the grace of God. So there you go. All righty. That kind of does it. And like I said, we will find out this time next year if I was close, if I wasn't close. But you know what? You never know until you try. So this is me giving it a try, and wishing all of you the very, very best for the holiday season, a blessed, prosperous, and joyous new year, and keep the faith. Things are going to, they may get off to a rocky start, but they're going to end on a high. So just keep that in mind. Love knowing you're there. And by all means, leave comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. All right. Take care.